Good morning, everyone, to Festivals Helping Festivals. My name is Debbie Mann, and I work for Festivals and Events Ontario. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and Happy Kwanzaa. It's only 20 days away, and it's going to come, it's just riding up on us real quickly. So today's topic is marketing and events trends. And please, again, participate if you can. Put your comments, anything in the chat. Unmute yourself to ask any questions or have any comments. And Marnie, over to you. Oh, there will be some surveys that I will launch once Marnie needs them. So, Marnie, over to you.
Hello, everybody. Good morning and Merry Christmas. Last one of 2023 as we all join together. Appreciate you taking time out of your busy Tuesdays. I don't know about you, but Tuesday is normally I'm rolling it out. I'm in the zone for work. Monday is kind of like a slow ramp up, and then Tuesday's like, okay, let's get her done because Friday's not that far away. So for you to take the hour out, I appreciate it. We all appreciate it because through this platform, we're able to share and support one another because a strong festival and event industry elevates the entire industry as well as the profile for the province and your own community. So by working together, we can help each other become even better in the roles that we are currently filling, as well as supporting our own events through these questions. Now, I know there's a lot of shy people that tend to join in, so please feel free to use the chat, or if you want to wait till after the presentation today, feel free to email Deb or myself, and we'll get whatever answers you might need back to you as soon as possible. So we had exciting news over the last few days where Experience Ontario is open. I'm just going to add a note in. Please contact your regional advisor because there's a ton of changes. I had a conversation with our own up here in the north, as I am located in Timmins, and I wanted to make sure I do lead a couple of events here in Timmins and will be submitting applications, but I also do grant writing for other organizations, and we want to make sure that everybody's up to date on what those changes are. I'm not going to go into them today because I think it's best you speak with your own regional advisors regarding the Experience Ontario. Some of these changes will affect a lot of the events, so you have to be prepared. So with that little soapbox done, the three topics we're going to be addressing today are: has social media posting been successful for your event? How often do you post about your event on social media? And do you include the demographics that you get back from your social media outreach in your post-event reports? So the first one, has social media posting been successful for your event? My opinion has always been it's as good as how you use it. And I've taken the time myself to get as much training as I can. LinkedIn's a great resource for social media posting, but even the various platforms have their own training modules that you can take. And either if it's not yourself, somebody in your organization can keep up to date on if you're not hiring a specific social media role for the organization. So how's it been working for you? I know we're just starting to plan for next year's, but over the course of the past year, how was your engagement? Did you find it affected your overall attendance? Was it a pain or was it a blessing? So who'd like to jump in first? And I will pick on people if you don't raise your hand. Very quiet out there. So I'm going to go alphabetically today. I see an Alicia Forget. Alicia, hi, welcome to the session today. Where are you from? What organization? And how social media worked for your event?
Hi, I'm from the town of Midland. I'm brand new to the position, so only been in the position about 6 months so far. So,
Wonderful. Welcome, welcome. Have you been in the
yes.
industry before?
A long, long time ago, yeah.
You're never really out. You're never
Right?
really out, whether you're employed or volunteered. We all know this. So did you get an opportunity to observe that with what you're working on over there?
Yeah, so I think social media has been very engaging for our events, especially with the Butter Tart Festival. We've gotten quite a lot of social media engagement through that, and it's been very helpful. I think we could do more, maybe promote a little bit more, use the paid ads and stuff like that to get a little bit more social media engagement. But yeah, we're just here today to learn a little bit more.
Fantastic. And I can say that your social media engagement has worked. My own sister-in-law and her friend attended this year because her friend, I believe, was a competitor in the butter tart
Oh,
competition
that's
there.
excellent. Right
And so
on.
that's Timmins, way north of you. So
Wow, that's
it's
awesome.
working. It's working. Put that into your demographics there.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Would anybody else like to add in? Remember, I will pick on you. Okay, Brian from St. Catharines downtown. I'm picking on you for this one.
Hi.
Hi.
I will say I don't have as much information about this aspect of festivals and events because we have a dedicated marketing and promotions director. So I'm mostly doing the event coordination, and they're responsible for the social media posts and how successful they are and tracking the stats on the performance of the posts and whatnot. But I will say I'm pretty happy with how it's been going. We've had a lot of success with Eventbrite, especially, I should mention as well, even though it's not exactly a social media platform. And even though we do free events, we find it's often useful to have an Eventbrite page anyway. People like to register for their own sort of reference, and it helps us get an assessment of attendance. So maybe that's one sort of little note to make is, think about the use of Eventbrite as almost as part of your social media promotion plan.
Very good observation. And people that use those type of ticketing platforms, that's kind of your target audience because these are the people that go to events that look for something to do. I'm registered with probably every single ticketing agency that there is online, and I get those updates of things coming into the area or even down south because you can select your where you want to go kind of thing. Yeah, I almost consider them a social media platform as well because they do have their reach out, their mail outs to their registrants. And, you see those ads come up through different other platforms, like, for example, Facebook. Goodness gracious, if you utter a word about something you're looking at, it's going to show up in your feed like 30 times. Yet they say they're not listening. But yeah, it's true. That's actually a really good idea to keep your social media current through one of those type of platforms, even if you're creating it, even if you're not taking the full on registration through it. I mean, it does get it out there, and there's thousands and thousands of people that use, especially Eventbrite. Definitely. Great
Yeah,
idea.
and I would say as far as traditional social media, Instagram is probably our most popular platform.
Really? Do you have tips and tricks about this, the Instagram? I'm still not wrapping my head around it. I know I need to, because I love Facebook, but I know Instagram is a great tool to use. What did you find that might have worked for the event by using Instagram?
We just have a good following there. So again, like I said, I'm not the person running the social media, so I don't have the really specific tips and tricks. But I will say that we have a good following there, and it's a more visual platform. So for events which are colorful and exciting, being able to deliver that message either in picture format or now, obviously reels are becoming a lot more popular. So
Yeah.
even being able to deliver video content that shows the excitement or fun of your event, I think it's a great platform for that.
Yeah, I have noticed on Instagram that the reels that are created on Instagram follow through onto Facebook, and it's kind of funny. It's a little personal information here. My husband doesn't do Instagram whatsoever, but he will share the reels off of Facebook, which have come from Instagram. So
Yeah.
you're still getting the ones that aren't on Instagram if the organization has selected to share through other platforms as well. So
Yeah,
I
and I
kind
believe
of
we are
like that.
doing that as well. Yeah, sharing our Instagram content to Facebook as well. So you're getting both posts to both platforms when you're doing that.
Exactly, exactly. It's kind of nice to have that option because it saves you having to, triple or quadruple post to other platforms. I do like that idea of it. I still have to figure out how I'm going to do it correctly for ours, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Good to know. And we'll give it an opportunity to one more person that might like to join in with what works for them.
Sure, Marnie, I'll pop in. My name is Marnie. I work at Red 61, a little bit different. So I don't work at a festival, but I work at a supplier.
Ah,
So we provide ticketing systems for our clients. So for us, the approach is a little bit different. We're not, of course, promoting festivals and events all the time, but more so promoting our clients, but having to be a little bit more careful about who and what and when, and if it's related to what we actually do with them. So our approach is kind of trying to look maybe weekly, sharing more success stories, promoting across our client base as appropriate. Some nice kind of organic things happened recently where we had several new clients in Australia. And these clients were personally posting through their LinkedIn, noting that they were really happy with the company. They were really happy with certain staff members that were mentioned and posted. So that was really sort of a nice organic thing that happened. We use Facebook mainly, a little bit of Twitter, not so much corporate LinkedIn, more kind of personal LinkedIn.
okay.
And then for us, we tend to ramp up sort of closer to conferences like FEO and Intix, and we do Ticket Professional Conference in UK and Australia. So those are really, I would say, calling them our events that we actually go to. Marketing stories, features are really good for us. Sometimes we get, through our sponsorships with some organizations, the opportunity to do some great stories. And another thing that I found about a year or two ago is there's some really great video creation tools that are out there, low cost. I found one that's maybe like $80 US a year. So for that, able to create some really great small consumable content without having a big spend on video. So that would be a tip I would give to several people looking to maybe create some video. There are several subscription-based video content tools out there, and they look really, really professional.
Fantastic, fantastic. If at any time you want to share the tools in the chat, please do, because there are a lot of new people in the industry. We learned that at the conference this past year. So it is fantastic to be able to share resources like this because, festivals are working on limited budgets. And if there's a way that can facilitate what they need to do, please, by all means, feel free to share. Or everybody, please feel free to reach out, Tanya, and we'll get you connected. Okay, so we're gonna jump on to the first poll. Are you ready to launch that, Debbie? Fantastic. So it'll pop up in a second. If you have two screens, check your second screen. Just waiting on it. There it is. It looks like everybody has given their poll. And what we've got here is, so do you have a dedicated person or organization or volunteer to create and post in social media about your event? And we've got 36% said yes, 64% said no, which is very interesting to me. Connie's posted in the chat, we have tried having one and not having one. And Anona from the House of Paint, we do have one when the festival is getting closer, but year round, it's just me. It's not just you, it's you. It's an important role to put out there because keeping present of mind, right? So I'll just share those out with you. And you can see that if you want to screenshot it or just make a note. And then I'll stop sharing. There we go. Okay. So as you can see, it is nice to have someone dedicated to it. I mean, when you're the full-on event organizer, it's one of those tasks that if you find somebody who is talented and passionate about social media posting, that it's great to collaborate and get them to help you with that. It's almost like a separate marketing plan, because you have your regular print and televised and radio, and social media came along and gave us a whole new venue to be able to share the information about our event, the successes, highlighting individuals that are important to the event, as well as your sponsors. And that it's a great tool to help keep that present of mind even year round. I know, granted, year round, it's not a constant posting, as opposed to when you're ramping up to the event and then the post-event thank yous. But it's definitely something that you've got to create within your media plan to help. And it doesn't matter what size of event you are, whether you're someone as huge as what's the one I'm thinking of, the RBC Blues Fest, or as small as our little multicultural festival we have here in Timmins. It's good to have a dedicated plan, and there's many tools out there to help you build it. You don't have to go on and take a full-on 8-month course. There's planning modules that can help you get that going. It's onerous to get it started, but I mean, once it's launched, it's great. So our next topic is, how often do you post about your event on social media? So are you a daily, weekly, monthly, bi-weekly, only, the weeks before? And is there a particular reason why you've elected to go that way? And if you share that here with us today, I won't have to pick on you. And so if somebody wants to throw up their hand and say, this is what we're doing and it's working well, or, Anona, I hope I said your name right.
You got it. You got the name perfect. Thank you so much.
Goodness, thank goodness.
It's all good. So we've recently, this was the first Giving Tuesday campaign that we tried to run via social media. It's a longer story, but it was definitely kind of challenging to get in pace of what we want to communicate, because right now, the world is so loud and there's so much going on and so much suffering happening. It feels really awkward to me. And this is vulnerable, and I'm not trying to ruffle too many feathers, but at the same time, promoting events and being like, hey, there's this cute festival happening when the world feels so heavy has been really hard to talk about. Specifically, so for those of you that don't know, we're a hip hop and urban arts festival that happens in Ottawa once a year. And a lot of our community right now are hurting. But at the same time, it's we're not really in a position capacity-wise either to make a lot of these statements. We did BLM statements and statements about the mass graves that happened. But now it's I actually can't keep up with all of the world right now, and talking about the events that are happening, being like, hey, we're at a vintage pop-up market, come through if you want, and having pep to it has been feeling really hard. So I'm just putting that out there, whereas I have had to caveat some of and kind of detach a little bit, this is not my personal stuff, this is the organizational stuff. And while I want the organization to succeed and thrive, I'm very, very aware of how our community is hurting during these times. And I don't really know how to address that compassionately and promote events that I want people to go to, if that makes sense. But generally, we if we have a key event going out, we do a countdown rollout to the event. The reminder function on Instagram is really great for people, so they can click and get reminded about the events. And we have regular Mural Mondays. We do, the general Throwback Thursdays. We always do a Francophone artist on Fridays, and that's generally what it's supposed to be. So we have some kind of tenants in the what's regular, and then if there's extra, we add more to it. I'm curious what if you all use any scheduling platforms for posts that go out, and what do you like? Like right now we're using Later, but with Later, I have to upgrade our subscription to post multiple photos at the same time. And you also don't get the collaborator function. So you can't actually, so with the collaborator function, I don't know how much people know, but Instagram, but if you make a collaborative post, it goes to your partners as well. So say if I'm like sponsored by someone, it'll go to their followers also, which is
Oh.
really cool, but I have to do that manually. I can't do that on a planning or scheduling device. But yeah, that's my Blair.
No, that's really great information. And you're right. We are inundated with the messaging that comes in from all the all the things that are going on in the world. And I recall back in the early 2000s, well, when 9/11 happened, there you go. The week the week after 9/11, we were hosting the Barra McNeils, which is an East Coast Music Award-winning group here in Timmins. It was a fundraiser for my Scottish dance group that I was leading at the time. And yeah, everything shut down. We thought everything was going to have to be canceled. The group was actually stuck in the United States because of the shutdown. We didn't know how long it would be till they got back into Canada, but they made it back. And we struggled with what kind of message we were going to put out at the event because everybody went into shock. Like if you recall that time, I know some of you were very young, but at that time we were all frozen because it had been probably the worst thing to affect North America since World War II, and we didn't know how to react. So we took the stance of we will not let them get us down because we will show our strength by continuing on. And we kind of led with that message and sold out the event, which if you've ever been to Northern Ontario trying to put on a Scottish event, it's hard to sell on a Scottish event. And it came out perfectly. But again, times have changed since that time. And I see Debbie's got something to add in too. I hope. That's why the hands up.
I know I know everything has gone crazy around us, but coming back from the pandemic, some of the comments we got from participants going to your festivals, because we did a quick survey, was that events are a place for people to come to and to, sometimes our events are the only social activity some people have. And so with all the craziness that is going on in the world, and like Marnie said, we're not going to let us get it down. I think it's important to also remember that we're bringing some light to our communities by providing these events, as hard as it is. And it doesn't mean you can't not put your messages through, but it's a ray of hope for people. And yeah, that's all I just wanted to say. It's a ray of hope for people, and it's a place for people to come and celebrate what's working for us and how to make a difference. So that's all I wanted to say.
I've also found our society is embracing more, and you may not realize it because of the way the news comes out, more willingness to support causes. And when you have an organization like yours, Anona, where you are celebrating a diverse group through their various art methods, having that opportunity to support in such a wonderful way is fantastic, because many times there are people that are sitting there going, gee, I wish I could support. I don't know how, what's one voice? But one voice is one ticket to the event which supports that artist or those group of artists that are happening. And it gives that opportunity to affect change in a different way. Our multicultural festival that I lead here, it's that bridge in our community connecting culture with residents and acceptance and diversity. And I know I'm kind of going off a little bit here on that method, but through social media and promoting it and finding the right voice for your organization, it doesn't always have to be hammering the news line, but the supportive line for the organization, that it aligns with what's happening and how you can make that positive influence throughout what's going on. Our multicultural festival, the first one back when the doors opened after well, I don't say after the pandemic, but when they lessened the restrictions during this pandemic, of course, that was the year that the Ukraine was invaded. And in our community, a very strong mining community, there are a lot of Ukrainian second generation and newly arrived here that, we were concerned how they would feel with putting on this festival. And we have everybody parade in alphabetically. The last one was the Ukrainian group. The thunderous applause and standing ovation, I still get chills, when the group who originate from Sudbury walked in their full regalia to the music. It was stunning, and it was what our community needed to show their support in a very tangible way. And the proceeds did go towards supporting the efforts in the Ukraine that year, as elected by the committee. But just having that opportunity as an attendee or as an organizer, it doesn't have to be the hammer of the news article. It can be something just as subtle as the involvement and inclusion. So, by promoting that aspect through the social media is a definite opportunity to reach even more, because there are people looking for that opportunity to support in a different way than just ranting about the news, right? So let's see, is anybody else wanting to add in? Anyone? Let me see. You know who I'm going to pick on, and we don't normally, but Jay from FEO, if he's available, does our social media. And, we reach out to you guys, and I know he's got probably a couple of really bits of advice. I never pick on Jay, so I think I'm going to owe him one now.
You pick on me all the time. What are you talking about?
I try not.
I mean, my strategy with social media is kind of twofold. It's to share what's happening with the organization to our membership, and at the same time share what's happening with all of our members with the other members. So I try to share as many social media posts as I can so that everyone in the province is aware of what's going on at any given time. So I just try to, our platform has a fairly substantial size audience. So I just try to share the social media posts and hope that more sets of eyes see them. And if people have the time or the availability and they may not be aware of what's going on that coming weekend, that maybe that social media post will be enough to drive them, to visit and attend the event and support them. So that's kind of my twofold strategy is make the members happy and also get the casual festival and event a goer to attend some of these festivals.
Yeah. And I know Jay does a good job of it, because it's usually, if not the first, between the first and the third posting that I get on any of the platforms that I log into. It's like, there we are. So it's working. It's working for us.
Great, thanks.
And thank you, Jay, for all the work that you do on that. That's onerous, most definitely. Debbie?
Right, Jay, can you talk about the Instagram takeover as well?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago, we were struggling getting our Instagram audience to grow and struggling to get them involved and participating. And it's not a new idea. I know it's been done all over the place, but we initiated our Instagram takeovers. So at the beginning of the spring, I would send out an e-blast to our membership base and offer them the ability to take over our Instagram for a weekend. So they would take over like 12 noon on a Friday up until midnight on a Sunday. And they had carte blanche to post whatever they wanted to post. So videos, they had roaming reporters going around talking to vendors and people that were going there. And great photos. And, for selfish reasons, it was great for us because it was adding all this fantastic content to our Instagram page, which in turn grows your audience. But we like to think it helped each festival and event as well, because they got to promote their festival or event on a provincial platform. So they've been wildly successful. I would say we probably do around 40 or so a year, and our audience has tripled on Instagram since we started doing them. So it's just one of the other tools that we were trying to use to support our members by getting them exposure and more, like I said, more sets of eyes.
Perfect.
Thanks.
I do enjoy it because it's neat. I can't get to all the festivals. I'm so far north. So it's kind of being there vicariously through the Instagram takeover. I love it.
Well, if you've ever got 5 minutes of free time when you're drinking a cup of coffee and you're surfing, check out FEO Ontario, and you can see like hundreds of these Instagram takeovers, and they're fantastic.
Yep. They do a great job. And I always like that man on the street vibe that comes with it. It's really interesting. It makes it very genuine. Definitely. Brian, St. Catharines.
Oh, I just want to weigh in that I know my marketing director, Kat, has had great success with the FEO takeovers. So yeah, we really appreciate and make use of that programming. So thank you for offering that.
That's awesome, Brian. Thanks.
Love to have those reviews come back. It's
Testimonials are the best.
they're gravy. Love it. All right, let's put up the next poll. And that will be, what social media has worked the best for you? It is a multiple choice. So Facebook, Twitter, now known as X, Instagram, YouTube, or if there's another one. And whoever answers other, I want to hear what you're using, because I am reliant on a family member who is very digitally attuned to the internet, who lets me know when there's something new happening. So I'd love to beat her at her game and say, guess what I've just learned. So we've got Facebook and Instagram kind of almost neck and neck, followed by Twitter. Nothing with YouTube yet. Okay, and other. Somebody's answered other. Okay. So we've got 69% for Facebook, 8% for Twitter, 62% for Instagram. Nobody's using YouTube, and other for 1%. So if you're a brave soul and want to let us know who posted other in the poll, could you let us know? What are you using, or are you keeping that as a trade secret?
I'll jump on. Hi, I'm Lisa from Intellitic. Similar to Red 61, I'm not necessarily just an event. We do ticketing, access control, and cashless, but locally, I also do events where I live as well. So
Good for you.
the other that thank you. The other that I marked was LinkedIn. So for Intellitex, we obviously use LinkedIn a lot because we're more B2B. But even as well, like what I've noticed in my LinkedIn feed is that people have been a lot more active on there recently, I think. So even posting about upcoming events and things like that, you're still grabbing audiences that may want to attend your event. I know they have a lot of different tools that they can use as well, just like how Facebook has Meta and all those different things. They have a really good learning platform and a really good, just ways that they can give you tips in which to do it as well. The other one I marked was Facebook. I find that Facebook is one that has always been really helpful in my local events here, and that their ads that you can do where they're targeted by zip code and demographic are very, very helpful.
Definitely. I do love being able to pull those reports off of Facebook because that's your tangible thing. As discussed with our regional advisor today for the Experience Ontario, they want tangible numbers, not just conversations apparently that you've had in the community. So yeah, it's Facebook is one great way to pull those resources. And yes, I don't know why I didn't think to throw LinkedIn on there because yes, I have found out about events through LinkedIn as well. Hello. See, I'm learning with all of you. I'm learning. I appreciate that. Okay, so we're going to jump into the last question. Do you include the demographics from social media outreach in your post-event reports? Not everybody goes after government funding where they're, that they want those social media numbers. Do you implement that into your report back to stakeholders, or do you just keep it in office, for helping plan your targets for the following year? How have you implemented those report backs in some other ways that were, that might benefit other organizations? Anybody wants to jump in? It's very quiet. All right, I am going to pick on someone I haven't heard from. Jessica Limburn from Canada Day, and I'm going to say Music in the Park because I can't see the whole name.
Yeah, I cut off. It's huge. It's big. Yeah, hi. When and if we're required to do so, you bet we absolutely include them. But if it's not asked, we certainly don't. I'm the executive director of a chamber of commerce, so we have several events throughout the course of the year. Our two main ones are obviously Canada Day, and most Sundays through the summer we have local artists come down and we host, as you might surmise, music in the local park. So only Canada Day asks for those, and that is absolutely federal grant funding. So yes, but otherwise, I'll report to my board of directors, or I'll use it for when I'm being strategic about what art I'm using, what I'm posting, what time of day I'm posting, what groups I'm sharing into. But because we do so many events with different mandates and different expected audience demographics, those social media metrics don't actually help us for much.
Very interesting. I look back to think, what did we do before we had access to these kind of metrics, before the social media platform was a thing? I'm imagining forests of trees were chopped down for all the surveys that we were doing and all the invitations sending out, and not to mention the budget for marketing when it came to print and radio and television. So, social media has probably really cut into their overall bottom lines, but has definitely helped, I think, in many ways, events and festivals to be able to promote it in a more feasible fashion. I surmise, at least from our end of things, from what I've seen in past budget reporting. But no, thank you very much for sharing that. And very interesting that your Chamber of Commerce leads those two events. I know our Chamber of Commerce up here has a couple of events, but nothing that is so community driven. They're more based around the chamber initiatives. So that's really neat to know. And just an offside, do you work with your municipality to do it, or is it just totally the chamber's baby?
Yeah, I'm a staff of one, so it's my baby.
Oh my goodness.
And we do I'm just looking at so we do Canada Day, we do Business Awards, we do an Oktoberfest. We tried to do Wally this year. We have 7 music in the parks. We have Canada Day, and then we have Light Up Night and Santa Claus Pictures. And there are 2 parades involved as well. It's very, very busy, but without the events, we don't have the finances to stay afloat. So it's what we do.
Wow. And Jessica, where are you based out of?
I'm in Caledonia, so sort of between Niagara and Toronto, for those who may or may not know. Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting. It's neat to see every community has such a different process for their events. And this was really interesting to see how well integrated into the events that your chamber is. So good on you, team of one.
please consider becoming a member of the Chamber of Commerce of Caledonia so we can continue to put on these events.
Hey, yeah, shameless plugs are well accepted here.
You gotta do it. Thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so we only had the two polls today, and we've hit all three topics. Did anyone want to add in anything or have any questions for any of the members here? We'll open up the floor for a couple of minutes before moving ahead with one more thing. Brian.
Yeah, I had a question sort of on that last topic that you were just opening up. So we were talking about demographics and what we can get from social media. So we do usually, after our events, do a return on investment report. And I usually do get the marketing and promotions director to provide me with some demographics from social media to include in that report. I would say they're generally usually overall numbers, though, like what is our total reach? How many views or how many click-throughs, those sorts of things. So when we say demographics, I'm wondering more about are there additional things I should be trying to extract from that data, like age groups or geographic location? So what should I be asking for, and how does my marketing person get it from the platforms? Maybe that's too specific, but that's the question that's crossing my mind.
You know, that actually opens up an opportunity that for the planning for the next year's session to bring in maybe a social media expert that can really speak to the perfect reports to pull. But I know that you can set up when you're developing your ad campaign, say for Facebook, the area, the demographics of the people that you're trying to reach. So say you're having a bridal event, a bridal festival. I'm just throwing that out there. You know that you have a very specific target market for that. Same with an arts event. So you want people that are interested, that have included, when you sign up for Facebook, you put in all your interests and your likes so that your algorithms will pull up things that you want to see. So it will dive in and pull those for you. What I like when I pull these reports is that I can see maybe where there is a gap. So we were able to do that for one particular festival where we saw there was a big gap in attendance, or at least we were certain of it, because we weren't getting the demographics of the say 14 to 20-year-olds, because they weren't of the age group that would, when the parents arranged for them to have a Facebook account, that those likes of festivals weren't added in. So we had to find another way to add in, the hashtags, and that will help pull it up into their feed so that they're seeing this, that awesome, there's a motocross exhibition happening at such and such festival. I want to be there. And, trying to get the preteen to the teen crowd out to an event can be difficult if mom and dad are not interested in going. And you want the kids to come and attend those activities by ensuring that your search engine optimization, I'm not sure if I said that right. I'm sure Jay will come back at me with that one. That your keywords in the posting will help pull it up. So yeah, I think maybe we can get at some point a social media expert that can give us some really good tips, so that we're getting into those algorithms depending on the platform that we're using. Even website optimization can help too. So we'll make a note of that for the planning.
Hey, thank you.
Years. No, thank you. That's a great question. Did anybody else have anything? Give it a second. No? Okay. I know it's a little bit quick. We're getting to the holiday season, and we're all thinking about that. So I'm just going to throw it there, a little reminder, and I'm sure you all do it with your volunteers. Make sure you send them that little heartwarming Christmas message that you're thinking of them and hoping they're back next year. Same with your stakeholders and sponsors is a great way to keep that connection in the winter months. I know we get buried into the reporting, and now we're all hitting those application forms and thinking about the planning for the following year. But that minute to send out those Christmassy emails, it does make a difference. We also want to remind you that the conference is how many weeks away now, Debbie? It's coming
Not
really
that many.
fast. Get your reservations in there. We've got some great stuff planned. Some great speakers are going to be participating this year, and spread the word. Get your colleagues to come with you, because it is such a fantastic networking, learning, celebratory event. I think it's what kept me in the industry this long, is being able to connect with the great folks at FEO, because I volunteer with FEO, and being able to meet people like yourselves who may have the passion or the drive. Those can be two different things, because one is job related and the other is I'm here for the fun. To be able to connect with yourselves, because you all inspire me and the rest of the team at FEO, and if you're inspiring us, connecting with each other is just as good, if not even better, because you get that chance to pick each other's brains, or troubleshoot, or celebrate, because really the work that goes into providing an event for your community is, nobody knows the work other than the people that are there behind the scenes, and kudos to you. So this conference in February is for you, and we'd love to have you there. Oh, and Megan says she is excited to go. She's never gone, and well, Megan, you make sure you come up and say hello. And that goes for any of you that are attending. So we cannot wait to see you there. It would be wonderful if you reach out to JW or myself. If you're not sure where to register, we'll get you all set up, and we'll be able to see you in Niagara Falls. And Debbie, did you have anything that you wanted to add before the end?
No, I just want to thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting Festivals Helping Festivals. Thank you for supporting Festivals and Events Ontario. I just love this industry, and I love you guys. I mean, I just really love helping you guys, and looking forward to January and seeing you again. And in February, I hope to see you at the conference. That's one of the highlights of my year. That's it. And just happy holidays, everyone. Just
Yes.
Be safe, have fun, and enjoy it.
And rest up, because the festival season's coming.
Thanks, everyone.
All right.
And
Thank you so
thanks,
much. Have a
Jay, for your
great day.
support. Thanks, Marnie, for doing this for us month after month. And all the best in 2024. Signing off.
Have a great day.